Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast, and I believe game one in a series. I won't tell you how many there are, just in case you know if this is a best of 3, best of 5, or best of 7. One time I thought the series was the best of 5, and it actually turned out to be a best of 7, and someone won 4-1. So I try not to make any predictions now, especially when the websites that I go to sometimes, the StarCraft 2 websites that I go to are sometimes wrong. And PwR Elfi spawning as the blue Protoss player on the north side of the map. Meanwhile, we have Jimpo spawning as the red Terran player on the south side of the map of Blistering Sands. Blistering Sands, a 1v1 matchup. Only 2 spawning locations. Both players know exactly where each other is. There are gold mineral patches here and here as well. We'll see if those don't even come into play this particular game. One low ground expansion coming in from both sides on these players, and then a rather wider choke point. There are also these backdoor rocks here, so those backdoor rocks may get destroyed and then units are able to flood through the back. I have talked with a lot of players about Blistering Sands. And Blistering Sands is one of those maps where you really have to be aggressive. 4-gate play is definitely a possibility just because the Protoss player is able to set up a proxy pylon here or here, enabling him to deploy units both to the front door and to the back door simultaneously, and causing a lot of aggressions for Terran. Terran players normally like to go for a lot of barracks play, trying to use more Marines and Marauders. If you try to tech too fast on this map, you generally have your backdoor exposed very easily, and you don't have enough of a standing army to really deal with the sheer number of units that will be flooding in. SCV and a probe now going at it, as Stevie the SCV getting his twin brother along to join in on that fight, and that probe decides not to try to engage just because he wouldn't be able to really deal that much damage anyways. Jimpo now should be transferring 3 harvesters onto that refinery, getting a strong tech going. Meanwhile, PwR Elfi should be going for a pylon. I don't see the pylon yet, so he may be going for cybernetics core before pylon, and that means he will be a little bit supply locked for a short amount of time. You can see him getting that probe, not training probes now, should be training one soon. No, going for another assimilator. So this is a halting in his production. And with this may be an attempt at a 4-gate. I'm not 100% sure about PwR Elfi's build. He did go that Cybernetics core before that pylon there, so that means that he is trying to get a stronger jump start onto his 4-gate research. And now I keep on forgetting to do that. Hold on, casting. Alright, so yeah, Perfect is a Protoss player I occasionally talk to. He is, I believe, number 1 in his Masters League, so yeah, I talk to him occasionally, and not a random person who just decided to randomly message me. Anyways, we have a Marine now over here on that ramp. We'll be walking up, and now we'll be able to fire safely from the cover of this bunker. We do see a supply depot on the back door as well, making sure that there are no units flooding in from that side. And the problem is that stalkers are able to deal damage towards these rocks outside of the combat range of Marines and Marauders. So that's one of the reasons why 4-gates are so popular. But Elfi, instead, trying to baffle and dismaze me, and confuse me, going for a robotics facility instead of that 4-gate research. He should be training up an observer as well, as indicated by the rally point on that one robotics facility, and now going for some sentries. So both players just sitting in the 1-base play, looking pretty comfortable. At least Jimpo following what I said he would be doing, the Terran player would be doing, going more barracks units, getting combat shield, may get stim pack as well, getting Marines and Marauders, as Marines are definitely strong against both Void Rays and Immortals. The only thing that it really loses to is Guardian shielded 4-gate with a lot of energy. Back here, Jimpo still mining off of 2 gas and now going for a Ghost Academy. So this is a 2-gate or a 2 racks play with Ghost Academy. He may even opt to go for a factory at some point in order to get some Hellions. Hellions deal a lot of damage towards sentries and also deal damage towards zealots as well. The Ghost already being trained, trying to get that early jump start on that Ghost in order enabling him to get a lot of energy and get some EMP shockwaves out. EMP shockwaves have 2 benefits. One, it does reveal the cloaked observer So being able to use an EMP shockwave to reveal a cloaked observer, making it so that it's very, very easy to take down. The only difficult thing about it is that the observer in the air, you got to kind of shoot underneath the observer. If you try to hit right here, you'd actually miss it because it's really right here. So if you try to hit on the right where it is, where that flicker is, you're actually going to miss it most of the time. They did reduce the radius of the Ghost EMP shockwave, making it very, very difficult for Ghost to try to hit observers and Dark Templars as well. Perhaps they should change the radius to revealing units to 3 and the depleting energy to 2. I don't know. I'm just asking for a Terran buff, even though most people say that Terran is the more overpowered race anyways. But I play Terran and I lose, so that means that it's not overpowered, right? Anyways, PwR Elfi now getting that robotics bay. I'm having a little bit more fun with this shoutcast than I normally do. I did cast a lot of the Machinima Realm Invitational finals. Those will be going up on Machinima Realm in a couple of days, or in the ensuing days, as the finals did get delayed a little bit. Both players just sitting inside their base, so not much to talk about actually in this game. So I guess promoting the Machinima Realm Invitational would be a perfect opportunity at this point. But Jimpo now moving out with Mass Marines and Ghosts is going to be coming up against a very, very difficult counter, as we can see that PwR Elfi already has 2 sentries, perhaps getting more sentries. Not only 2 sentries, but he also has Colossus. Once those Colossus are able to get a lot of damage onto those Marines, and having those sentries perhaps corral them, a lot of damage would be dealt, and a lot of those Marines would simply fall. The Reaper was able to gain some sight, was able to kill perhaps 1 or 2 probes, and now Jimpo knows exactly what he's up against and knows that he cannot move out with this Mass Marine army, instead opting to go for a command center and now trying to change up his tech a little bit more, perhaps also getting Vikings. Yeah, well, Vikings to challenge the Colossus, so that one early scouting Reaper that was able to get some damage on the economy of PwR Elfi is now saving Jimpo, because Jimpo is not stupid enough to try to move out with Mass Marines against Colossus and sentries. There are a lot of them. There is an Immortal in the group as well as some Stalkers. The main damage dealers are going to be those Zealots, though. Zealots and that Colossus there, especially with a second Colossus coming online, and that Robotics Bay now researching that extended thermal lance and research. 1 Viking or 2 Vikings in the air, courtesy of that 1 starport that has a reactor. A second Viking should be queued up as well. Why else would you have a reactor on a starport? And back over here, we now see perhaps a drop coming in. So Marines now trying to come in, doing a quick drop. Unable to. That medevac needs to pull out of there. Stalkers do move more quickly than medevacs. And the medevac now deciding to run all the way to the north side of the map here, deciding that he will try to do another drop in just a little bit, but not right now. More Colossus now being trained up once again out of... more Colossus now being trained up once again off of this robotics facility. So we're going to have, I believe, 3 Colossi total. Yeah, 1 Colossus here, as PwR Elfi has established his natural expansion as well. SCV once again on the move, trying to see if there is an expansion. Does he know about the expansion? No, he does not. But that SCV will quickly come across 1 pylon here and this Nexus, and get taken down in just a second. There we go. And now PwR Elfi looking pretty comfortable in terms of his economy, sitting on 39 harvesters, mining off of 16 mineral patches, and able to produce and train up a whole bunch of units. We have an orbital command now being upgraded by Jimpo, and Jimpo has a lot of SCVs here, so he transferred a lot of his SCVs from his main base over. Taking a look at the harvester count, 40 SCVs. Sorry, Jimpo has the stronger economy, as he didn't relent in his SCV production, and his macro is really going to start to carry him through. But the unit counters of PwR Elfi are going to be stronger, so the longer this game goes, the better for Jimpo. But if PwR Elfi is able to severely cripple this army very, very early, then the damage could be dealt. And especially with 1 observer here, Jimpo doesn't know that he's currently being revealed. The backdoor rocks are now getting destroyed a little bit, but now we also have a drop in over here. So 1 medevac with 6 Marines able to get some damage in. Stalkers now trying to make their way in as well. No Colossus anywhere nearby, as the main fight now happening over here. There are Guardian Shields, Marines, Force Fields not in time, but many of those Colossus are now getting taken down. Stalkers now trying to shoot down the rest of these Vikings. The Vikings, however, not being able, or Vikings doing a great job countering those Colossus, but now having no targets, should perhaps land and join in on the ground fight. PwR Elfi trying to finish off the rest of those units. Vikings now landing off in order to finish off the rest of this. Stalkers are being able to pick off some of those Marauders one at a time, but with more units slowly reinforcing, PwR Elfi's attack has been countered, and now with that drop coming into play here, PwR Elfi says GG. Wow, that seems like a little bit of an early GG, but if you take a look at the harvester count, 28 harvesters compared to 45, PwR Elfi knew that Jimpo had such a strong economic lead, and after trading his army, and both sides trading armies, he just didn't deal as much damage as he would have liked to. The Stalkers needed to deal with those Vikings first. Those Vikings, 6-8 Vikings just unloading onto those Colossus, and those Colossus fell very, very easily. And then also a couple of key force fields as well. Those force fields preventing many of those Marauders from being able to retreat, and also another force field on the ramp stopping any additional reinforcements. But still, PwR Elfi didn't have a strong enough economy going into this battle, and he obviously, after losing some of his probes to a 6 Marine medevac drop here, knew that would be a good game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between PwR Elfi and Jimpo here on Blistering Sands.